Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to have another exciting live stream, I promise. You know I never lie, right? You guys are going to help me out today. But we are live with PAC. Just trying to get my stuff ready because you guys are going to have to help me out. Francesca, thank you for being here. How are you? James Robinson in the house. The man, the myth, the legend. How are we today? Thank you for joining the live stream. I got a couple things I'm working on. I'll need you guys' help with, or at least you might be entertained. Justice is doing good, outstanding. Crap, I forgot what I was doing. Does that ever happen to you guys? You forget what you're doing? We're going to get to work here in a second. I'm just trying to get organized at the moment. Woohoo, this is me. You guys like my shirt? Yay, a lot. Good. I'm pulling up the live stream on my big screen TV so I can read the chat better at a distance. It's one thing I have to do. The older I get, good old PAC here is, not a young man anymore. James is doing good. Expect a box for me this Friday or Saturday. Hey, outstanding. I like boxes. James, I did today I got a box in for me that I need to assemble. And then I actually ordered a small order from Wii the other day. Lorelai needed, I think we're okay to go live now. Oh, we are live. Cool shirt, thank you. I'm even wearing, I'll show you in a second. I'm gonna get you guys mounted on the tripod here, so you guys don't have to bounce around with me. Let me get that situated. I got you guys. Let's see how that works. You guys good? All right. So, pull up the chat so I can read it. Oh yeah, I even wear the watch Galactic Gaming sent me. See? So I'm styling and profiling today. Ooh, my battery's dead on this. This ain't gonna do any good. Well, you guys hang on, I gotta hook up my external battery to the, ooh. I've got another chore to do. I always like to run an external battery on my phone, and I'm using my brand new tripod that I bought, because you guys know I have a really bad habit of breaking tripods. Let me see if I can get this in there. So forgive me for my big finger. There we go. Uh-oh, that might be a problem. Hello. I'm using one of those rotational things to track my movements. All right, so I really need to go get a cord. Hold on, guys. Try to get my iPad plugged in. AM's in the house. Hello from the Ukraine. Welcome in. Good to see you. Joe's in the house. Well, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to try. Joe. Welcome in. Good afternoon, everybody, Joe says. Thank you for that, Joe. I'm going to be assembling something I got in the mail today. I opened it up. Well, when I bought it, I thought, oh, you know, it's one of those things you just take out of the box and you slap it together. Well, I got it out of the box when it actually got here. And I went, well, shit, I think I'm going to have to sit down and read the instructions. So that's my big goal today, is read the instructions. And, of course, to kill some time. Joe, thank you for being here. Ashley is back in the house. Good to see you. Oh, I'm trying to get the chat pulled up so I can read it a little bit better, because you know how old people are. Ashley, everybody say hello to Ashley and Lucky. Lucky Shots here. I'll address any political questions in a second once I kind of get a little further. I don't mind answering political questions. I don't. You may not like my answer, but it is my channel, so I gotta try to. I have to. See, the chat on the phone is so small, I kind of cheat and I use an iPad close to me so that I can actually try to read the chat. That's what I try to do, because I'm a big cheater. I got snacks for everybody. If you want any snacks, let me know. We got, my camera thing's supposed to recognize me if I do this. There it goes. So I do got snacks. Skinny Pop popcorn, the best popcorn in the world. Some drill mix. We're getting ready for my wife's big birthday party. Why the house is a disaster. So, but I'll get caught up on the chat in a second. I promise you. Outstanding, wonderful people. But we are a little bit of a mess because we've been trying to get organized for the birthday party coming up. All right. How's everybody doing? Backlash is in the house. We got somebody from Ukraine in. Joe's here. Ashley's here. Lucky Shot's back. Joe's at hello. Backlash, how are you, buddy? Man, all I can do is dream of the day I don't live here so I can go fishing more. Lorelei is always right, and I know she thinks that. President Fucci is in the house. Good to see you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the thumbs up. I hope you guys can see me okay. Are you guys okay with the camera? You guys look all right? Yeah, all right. It's good enough. So today, I wanted to, I bought this, I don't know what you call this. But James, is you still in the house? I was going to tell James, because James is a very special subscriber, James Robinson. So if you see him, give him a big thumbs up. He's the very first subscriber to our YouTube channel, and he's stuck around all these years. And out of screen. All right, thank you for letting me know. Let me move the setup a little bit, all right? Just give me a second. I gotta remember, I got a brand new tripod. And I got to admit, I think the tripod's smarter than I am. which isn't really hard to figure out. All right. And I'm trying out one of these motion activated things. I bought 2 of them. This is the second one I bought, the better one. Is that any better, I hope? Joe, any better? Alfie, is that any better? All right. So anyway, James Robinson number, our very first, literally, come on camera, come this way. These things are a little tricky. I'm messing with this, so you're gonna have to just forgive me. There you go, turn it on. There we go. Happens when we get old. See, now the camera's too far that way. It's all right. We'll work with it, I guess. See, this new facial tracking device, you're supposed to do like this, and it turns off. But I'm recognizing a problem I have. I use a power cord, you see. I always like to run a battery pack on my phone, but the problem is I'm noticing on this one is the way the camera fits in the holder, the place for the battery plug to go in is just blocking the camera. So give me a second. So the cord is laying right in front of the motion detection camera, and it's causing fits. Well, let's try it a different way. There we go. All right. Jamie's in the house. Almost killed myself. So yes, another new toy for me. So James, if you're hanging out in the background, what I was going to tell you is I did do, and Jamie, how are you, by the way? Thank you for the thumbs up. I made an order, if you like Asian food, whether it's Filipino food, Japanese, Korean, Thai, Vietnamese, there's a store out there called, an online store called Wee! And just Google it. It has everything you imagine. So there's some things that I really like that are the 555 canned tunas from the Philippines that I could never find at an Asian grocery store. So I ordered me some of those, James. And I ordered some more magic syrup for my wife. So Jamie, how are you today? Saying hello to everybody. Thank you all for the thumbs up. I'm also doing laundry. I do got the doors open to the house in case you start hearing barking. Because, you know, my dog Lily, who's pretending she's sleeping, is on guard between the front door and the back door in case anybody walks by. So that she can bark. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. So I wanted to buy... I know you guys aren't going to see. You have to just kind of wait. I don't even know what we're calling this. I don't think it has a name. The only instructions I got, what it is a little cubicle. I'll get up and show you. Let me, here. See? It's kind of supposed to look something like this. So it's a little storage container with a plastic door on it. Over here. All right. Why'd the camera do that? There you go. Take it loud and clear, nice. All right, so I got to figure out how to build this. And they come in cubes, right, or sections. So here's what I got. I don't know what this is. So when I opened the box, I got 2 bags like this. That's what I got, which is all of this. This was stuck in between them. So I have to kind of figure out what that's all about. Loud and clear, same hair, yoo-hoo. So, and I hate reading the instructions. You guys all know this. But yeah, we're getting ready for Lorelai's party, so don't mind the mess. We got birthday decorations everywhere. But if you guys need any snacks, just let me know. We got plenty of popcorn and trail mix for you guys. We're doing good. We're doing good. All right, let me read the instructions. Take out and check the product accessories are complete. Well, if you don't know what's supposed to be in there, how do you know if it's complete or not? Unfold the bottom plate. And then that's step number 2. Number 3 is fasten and secure the front and sides. All right, let's try number 2. It's beautiful weather. The doors are open, got a little breeze in the house. You think maybe this is the bottom plate? I think this is the bottom plate. It has kind of texture to it. It's 75 degrees down here. I don't know about you kind folks up in the land of Missouri. Here's the door. See, look. It has and that's why I wanted to buy it. Because I thought it'd be really cool, like in a wet area. Or just for somewhere you don't want a bunch of dust getting into it necessarily. Well, now this must be like a shelf. All right, so here's the bottom. I'm cooking with gas now, boys and girls. Maybe. Joe says it's 65. Yeah, it's nice day. It's going to be nice all week. I got to go to the recycling center tomorrow. They're only open on Mondays and Wednesdays. I need to, I got the back of my truck, load it down with cardboard boxes. We've been cleaning out the garage this week because Lorelai's going to use it for her birthday party to where she's going to decorate it to where I guess all the girls are going to go do a photo shoot out there. Daddy, hello, what are you assembling, kind sir? Well, I'm assembling just a little bitty weird plastic cabinet from China or Japan. So that's what I'm trying to assemble. It's one of those things that looks real simple. I thought I would just pull it out of the box and snap it together. But I'm always afraid of breaking things. I don't know. I don't see where it connects. So yeah, I got to go to the recycling center tomorrow. We got a pickup truck load of boxes I need to get rid of. And so we're cleaning out the garage, getting rid of a lot of old boxes. So Lorelai is going to decorate it to where all the girls, when they come over for a birthday party, they can go out there and TikTok dance. And I hate TikTok. They can go out there and dance and take photo pictures, I guess. We got a girl that thinks she's a TikTok star. And she never asked permission, but she thinks she can just do whatever she wants. I guess she's coming. Well, that didn't work. It's just weird. You got it? Well, I'm working on it, but I don't see how to do it. See, I got to put this together like this. But this side's a hinge. And you would think there's something right here that you snap in. But I'm not seeing that. It doesn't go on top. So it has to go there. I know this is probably something a 3-year-old could do in about 4 seconds. All right. Maybe I'm supposed to put the door on to keep it and then do something? Snap it again. Well, I know. That's what I thought, Joe. And that's what makes sense to me. But it's not snapping together like we would think. And part of my problem is I have a tendency to break things. I have a tendency to not understand things and break them. What's the matter? You're all right. My dog Lily is going, hey, what are you doing? I got the door on. All right, so let's do. Need a nose pliers? Maybe. Well, I just don't see where it snaps. This door plate here that I put on, Joe, I think it snaps. See, it snaps into place, and that's what puts this bottom in place, but the bottom's not in place. There it goes. All right. Well, that's what I'm assembling. I still don't think it's super. No. Oh, I get it. So this piece, I think, is a lid. This is a shelf that goes into this. Oh, mine doesn't come with wheels, I don't think. I don't think mine has. Does mine? I don't think I have wheels on mine. The picture shows wheels, but see. Alright. Ah, shit. See, that's what I don't like. It doesn't stay in place. Maybe if I hit it. Take the plastic off. All right. Shit. How do you get that open? Maybe I need some glue. All right. Maybe there's something further. Let me double check my box. No. Nothing extra in the box. Look, it does come with wheels. And plastic little handles, okay? Now that we know what we're doing, yeah, right. Well, this one had the door already attached. No, it's not, Joe. And I bought it because I measured. I needed something less than 11 inches. Where I'm going to store it, I can go vertically, but horizontally, it's 11 inches is all I got. And so I wanted to buy something that I could utilize there. They do come in many different sizes. You can get them much bigger. The same thing in many different sizes. I don't mind. Look at her, snaps into place very well. Get her, Lily. Oh, that's the show. Right. Oh, there's the bottom. So I guess it just kind of folds. Let's get this off of here. So, yeah, I bought it was because it was so small. It was still kind of expensive. What was funny was the bigger ones were cheaper than the skinnier one. Maybe they figured the little bitty one was more specialized. Okay. Let me put the wheels on one of these before I get going any further. It doesn't really need wheels where I'm going with it, but it'll be all right. Okay? Yeah, I don't know how much weight these can handle. I'm not going to put but just a little bit of lightweight in it. But I really wanted something for this very narrow space I have that's just calls for a little bit of storage to make my life better. Okay. And then Kind of goes like this, I think. What did Joe say? Well, yeah, it'd be really good for the bedroom. This is going to go in one of the bathrooms. But yeah, they come in much bigger sizes. Big John's in the house. Tarzan, how are you? I ordered one of those things you see on all the things about, you know, how smart the Japanese people are, how they make storage things. So I bought one, and I'm trying to assemble it tonight. I think I got it almost done. All right, I think I got it done. I'll show it to you. You there? It has these little doors. What's the matter? You're all right. Go lay down. Somebody thinks it's her time for din din, and it's not. Well, now that I didn't put the handles on the doors, I can't get the doors open. Let me get caught up here. That has about 20 to 50 pounds of storage weight. Boy, I hope it can hold. For us, it's probably going to do 10 pounds. I come without instructions. My wife knows. Same here. Rusty's in the house. 9 soda boxes with the glasses. Yeah. I guess you could put soda in it. I think... I don't know exactly what we're putting in it, to be honest. But now I got to figure out how to get the door open so I can put the handle on. I don't have a pocket knife. So, I'm going to have to get something, Joe. All right. Almost killed myself. Did you guys see that? See that? I popped that open. This knife came out and about slashed my artery open. Man, I would have bled everywhere. We would have really good YouTube content. Watch the fat American bleed out. John, here's the instructions. They did come with the instructions. It doesn't say how to put the handles on, so the Japanese people are assuming I can figure it out, which I did. Okay. All right, perfect. There we go. I thought it has locking wheels. Locking wheels on it. Here we go. Here's the finished product. What do we think? This was about $30, so kind of expensive. But they're modular, and you can add on this way, I understood, and go as high as you like. They come in many different shapes, much bigger. But I wanted this for a little bitty section of wall that I have that irritates me because there's nothing there. And so maybe you could put like shampoo in it, soap, toilet paper, I don't know. And then you have a little top, right? So that way, if you need to throw something on it, right? You know, another place to store crap. Good job, John. Thank you, thank you, thank you. OSHA moments. Yes, I know. Remember, I was the OSHA guy. That's one of what... Ooh, these are really good bags. That's what we would have called in the safety world, the OSHA world, a near miss. Me almost cutting open my arm and dying in front of you guys, right here, right today, would have been classified as a near miss. So, Dennis is in the house. Too small for a dead body? I broke this one. Shit and butt farts. Dennis, how are you? Nice job. Yeah, it's too small for a dead body. It is. But it might be the right size to throw some toiletries in. You know, but soda, I guess, like somebody said earlier, waters and soda for like a dormitory would be really good. I could see a bigger one of these out in the garage. These would be nice out in the garage to store your hobby stuff in. And once you get them all put together, you know, it seems pretty solid. It does. It seems pretty solid. All right, I only got to save one bag. And we'll put that there. Man, our house is a mess. I'm doing laundry. I don't know. It's just like I never get caught up with this house. I went to the doctor yesterday, told my doctor I didn't want to go to doctors anymore. So I have a whole bunch of tests that have to be done and procedures, and I canceled them all today. I don't think my wife is happy with me. My doctor's not happy with me. One, because you're probably losing money. So, a bunch of medical procedures that they think I need to do, and I just decided no more. There you go. No more medical procedures. Use it for shopping bags? Yeah, it could go in a pantry. It could. Shopping bags? Yeah, we got a bunch of shopping bags. I ordered the grocery store, the Asian grocery store online. I got a new order of that coming here in the next few days. I ordered some tuna, the Filipino 555 tuna that I can't find at any Asian stores. I just buy it from thanks to James Robinson, who turned me on to that online Asian grocery store. So I got some of that ordered. Had to order like some magic syrup for her cooking. And what else did we do? So we got that done. We're well on our way to Lorelei's birthday party. Dennis, I need you to feel sorry for me. I really do. Because Miss LV she just ordered her birthday LV. So apparently, Lily. So apparently now we're going to be a 2 LV household. Too many LVs. All right. So she ordered her a new LV today for her birthday, Dennis. What are you learning? Anything good? Oh, you're tearing up. See, I'm too far. They need to come out a way to make the chat bigger, you know? That's what YouTube needs to do. They need to figure out how we can blow up the chat so it's easy to read. Maybe I'll write them a letter Or I'll call my friend who owns YouTube. I don't remember his name now. But it'd be really good if they could just make the chat a lot larger, right? Deborah's back in the house. Good evening. Thank you all for the thumbs up. So yes, Deborah, I've been working on my thingy-jingy, whatever it is you want to call it, my storage thingy. Uh-oh. But yeah, Lorelai's excited. Her birthday's the 7th. We are going to live stream it. Everybody is welcome to attend. She only demands a very nice gift if you're going to attend. There's an admission fee to attend the birthday party. No, we're going to live stream it. Hopefully we'll have fun. So, now Dennis, I'm going to warn you, man. You got to stay away from those crazy people, those crazy Filipinos. You know, they're going to be asking for your wallet phone number in a moment. They're going to be wanting to know what's in your wallet. Doctor had to cancel his vacation. Yeah, maybe because I'm not going to pay anymore. Yeah, you know, I really like my doctor. I'll say this, I really do. He's 10 years older than me, right? Yeah. And he retires in 2 years, and I'm going to be out of here in no less than 2 years, with or without Lorelai. So, but yeah, you know, they want all these tests done because, you know, guys are getting older, and I'm just not doing it. I've got to the point after the last few months with getting a new pacemaker, having MRIs done on the back, having shots in the back. Yet again, you got to remember about 15 years ago, 12 years ago, I was getting shots in the back, you know, 5-6 times a year. And I said enough is enough. So I decided, my camera, I decided to try it again. It still didn't work. So I gave up and said no more. And I'm just not going to do it. And then they got a bunch of other stupid procedures they want and to do. And they were calling me today, scheduling. Here's what's funny. When I called to cancel today, because you can't cancel these appointments at the hospital online, apparently, which I didn't know that. I don't know why I couldn't cancel them online. So I called him up and said, hey, I need to cancel my appointment. And the girl says, well, why? And I said, because I want to. Hello, I don't have to have a reason to cancel appointments. I don't want to come to the hospital and be all chopped up, poked, and prodded anymore. You know, I don't want, you know, the last thing I had done the other day to drive me crazy was I had the shots in the back, and I had some lady stroking my leg through the whole thing. And I hated it. I didn't like it. I didn't like this lady touching me, rubbing my leg like I'm a damn dog or something, being petted, you know. So I've decided I am boycotting hospitals. No more. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Just not gonna do it. All right. What else have we been doing? What have you guys been up to? John, Dennis, Deborah. Deborah, how are you? Jamie was in the house earlier. Young Miss Avocado, who, by the way, oh, I got something also. Now look, a friend of mine. I got a bunch of stuff I'm working on. One, someday I'm actually going to get the damn kitchen clean. But here's something, and I don't know where the box is. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know where the box went. This is one of those, as seen on TV. Ooh, it's wet. You know, things that you see like at Walmart or the stores, it's seen on TV. This is one of those rotating scrubber dilly boppers. You know, look, see a wand that scrubs. See that? So a friend of mine who's old, he was playing bingo because he plays bingo with a lot of other old people. And I guess he won this in bingo, brand new one. And he realized it didn't have, you had to buy the power cord extra. So as seen on TV at Walmart, you buy this, it has all the attachments. I wonder where the box is. Oh well. So you get all the attachments, but you got no way to charge it up. Jane! I know. Instead of going, he says, David, instead of you going to the hospital, have them come to you. I don't want to do that either anymore. I'm kind of done, I guess. I'm to that point where I'm okay to just letting nature take its course. So he brought it over and said, hey, I don't want this because I don't know what to do with it, kind of. He's like, and I notice it doesn't have a charging thing, and I don't want to buy a charging cord. And I told him, I said, and he's like, so you guys have it. You can keep it or sell it, do whatever you want. And I said, well, you know, I probably have one or two of these in the house because we keep all of these cords, all USB cables, HDMI cables, you know, RCA cables, plugins, all the different ones. We keep them all. I got a big box full of crap loads of cables. It's Gabe. Gabe is in the house. Looks like everybody say hello to former Gabe. I'm not human is what he's saying now. 73. I am not human. Good to see you. So, how are you, Gabe? I like the name Gabe better, man. Why'd you change your name? So, yeah, it's a rotating, there you go. I like that. It's definitely a rotating scrubber dilly bopper on a stick. That's it. And it comes with, now, you know, it comes with a bunch of attachments. Right? Now, the funny thing is, I have a bunch of these brushes like this, really tough, that goes onto my drill. So I use it to like clean my truck and scrub things outdoors. But now, we got a free one of these from my buddy, because he didn't want to pay the $10 to get a cord. So I used it the other day. I charged it up. And I used it the other day. And I gotta say, it doesn't feel very powerful like the drill. You know, my drill is, you know, rah, just badass, crazy, mean, tough drill, you know. It could strip the paint off of a buffalo's ass, right? This doesn't have that kind of power, but I used it the other day as practice to clean up the grout lines in the kitchen. And I gotta admit, it did really good. It did a really good job cleaning up that. I used a little I used a little soap with a touch or two of bleach and just kind of worked it in, and man, it cleaned up the grout pretty well. Last time I did that, I had a toothbrush out, scrubbing before one of Lorelei's big parties. I had to go around and scrubbing all the grout in the tile in the kitchen. So I was using a toothbrush. So this is good. It does come with something else. I don't remember what else. It may come with an extension pole so that it can be longer, I think. So that you could like, I guess, I don't know. Does anybody have one of these? It's been a bit. I am not human, which is Gabe says. Gabe, yes, it's been a while. Why you been gone so long, Gabe? And then, of course, I got a video coming out about the dog hair dryer. Lorelei we bought a dog. Well, actually, we didn't buy it, to be honest. I lie so much on this channel, I don't even know what my name is. But we get a lot of corporate sponsors, and we had a company send us some pet stuff here recently. And one of them was a dog dryer. And I made a video, but I haven't got it released yet. And look. All right. It's a dog dryer. It's a small hair dryer that you use on the dog. Come here. Come here. No, come here. Oh my God, this dog weighs 90,000 pounds. So it's a hair dryer that's kind of small that you use on a dog. That's what the dog dryer is. That's what it is. It's a hair dryer, like for my hair. What? So, it works. I give it good reviews. I told him it works fine. But it's the same damn thing as a hair dryer. Craig's in the house. Good morning, Craig. Craig and Chad, everybody said hello to Craig. You guys haven't been very good today saying hello to each other. This is Lily, the 400-pound wiener dog. This dog's, you know, we got her on a diet. We've had her on a diet for 2 years, and the diet's not working. You know that, right? Your diet's not working. You know that, right? Yeah. I don't know where you're getting your extra food at, but you weigh like 30 pounds now. Right. Go attack somebody. Man, you're a fat dog. Part of the problem is she doesn't get a lot of exercise with a crippled foot. Everybody said hello to each other. Thank you for the thumbs up. Craig, I just got done building a storage cabinet. You'd be proud of me. It only took me a half hour, what would take a 4-year-old to do in about 5 minutes. But at least I accomplished it. So. Oh, man. How are you, Craig? How are things in your part of the world? What? But it's a beautiful day here, if you guys didn't know. Mid-70s, I got the windows open and the doors open. We're going to have a really warm week, so much so that we've been working to clean out the garage, taking the recycling center. Well, Craig, that's a good question. Joe pointed out that the fact that it's really skinny, and it is. I bought this because it was less than 11 inches. Where I want to put it, I only have 11 inches, and this is 9 inches. So I'm going to slide it in between the walls, a little cubby I have. And I don't know what I'm going to put in it, to be honest. I'm going to put it in the bathroom. And I don't know, maybe, I don't know what's going to go in there. I really don't. But I'm going to put it in the bathroom because there's a spot in my master bathroom that looks like it needs something. It's been irritating me. Oh, there's 2 of them now. Holy crap, I just forgot. There's a section, there's another one of those at the other side of the bathroom that is the exact same way. Dang it. But it looks like when you look at it, you go, that needs storage. Clyde Gaming, what's going on? Craig just woke up. Nice. Rob, how are you? Everybody say hello to each other. Just waking up in the morning. Well, I don't know what's going to go in my new Japanese storage container that took me an hour to build. That a 12-year-old or a 4-year-old could build in 12 seconds. But the other thing is, I got it intentionally this size. Skinny and not too tall because I thought it'd be really good to be able to stick shit on top of. I don't know. That's how we do it in this house. It does roll around on wheels. It has locking wheels. I thought it was a little expensive. Oh, I don't have my phone. Oh, there's my phone. I think it was a little expensive. I think it was about $30, $35 for two of these. You can get as many as you like. So I think it was 30 bucks for 2 of these. And I think that's a little pricey, but fed the fish, came in for coffee, started the AC, nice. Gonna be 38 today, so maybe a lazy day. Yeah, hot lazy day. It's 75 here. It is, it's overcast. So, I don't know what the weather's gonna be like the rest of it. It's supposed to be pretty warm. But tomorrow I gotta take a truckload of cardboard to our recycling center. I know I'm doing that tomorrow. Oh, I gotta go in for a heart thing tomorrow. So today I thought I'd get a few things done around the house. Doing more of my laundry. I should call my wife. You know, maybe this is a good point. Maybe it's not a slip up. I should start calling my wife Laundry. Is that a Lorelei? I should just call her Laundry. Because 90% of the laundry is hers. So I'm doing laundry more again yet today. And it's Tuesday. So, I don't know. But Lorelai's taking over my garage for the birthday party. She's hanging up big banners and backdrops, and they're all going to go outside and take pictures in the garage of each other. You know what I mean, Craig? You know how that is, right? So they got a couple backdrops and all of this other crap that they're putting down and in the garage so that they can take pictures, which is okay, I guess. So it's going to be an exciting birthday party for her. She already ordered her own birthday gift. So she's got that out of the way. And we've got her birthday cake ordered. We got some surprises coming in. And we do have a lot of food that's going to be here already. So I'm not for sure yet. Craig says, "Yepers, I know what you mean by the photo booth." So we will have a photo booth out in the garage. We'll have to get some light out there. But they will, here's one thing I'm going to say. I wish, and I told Lorelai that Lorelai doesn't do it, but her friends are really big on making fake photos. And I don't know if anybody else likes that or dislikes that, but how do you guys feel about the fake photos? I'm just not a super big fan of where they use these filters to make themselves look different than they are. You know what I mean? I'm just not a big fan of that. Just chilling, having a little smoke, almost finished converting the garage into my new office. Woohoo! Down the attic above into a storage room. Nice buzz, and you got a buzz going on. So that's where I'm looking, I don't know what you guys feel about that. I don't like it because, and you see it all over Facebook, where girls are lying about who they are. They got pictures of them looking like they're 30 when they're really 60. They're using all these filters. I really think, and I told Lorelai I don't like that, so Lorelai's not allowed to do that. I don't want her to be fake. I want her to be who she is. Don't care, can't change them? Well, I know you can't change them, but I don't know. It's like, are they so embarrassed by who they really are, that, and plus, I'm not a makeup person anyway. I don't like girls that wear a lot of makeup at all. I think it's gross. So, but aren't you lying to yourself? So, that's just kind of my thing. I don't know. My messages are having issues sending. Keep saying error. Well, quit typing the word error and it wouldn't keep saying error. Oh, Craig, you're going to hate me on this one. I got to go over and clean the fish tank. Poor Craig will see what I'm going to do and go, "Oh my God, you guys you're so horrible." But I need to get over here, and you guys are going to go with me. And I'm going to show you what Lorelai has me do to her fish tank. Oh, maybe I could use my new scrubby dilly. Look, I got a new scrubby dilly. Now, I'll have to do it with my hands. Seems like long messages don't want to send. That could be. All right. I need a sponge. I need a drink. You guys want to watch me clean the grass, the inside? It's horrible. The things I do, I got to take my shirt off, But hang on, I gotta find my scrubby thingy. All right. And do you guys have the same problem I have? When things just kind of, oh, maybe Lily wants to be fed. What time is it? You guys have the same problem I have? When things just kind of disappear in your house? I do. I bought here, let me go over here. You guys come with me. I bought a pack of really good sponges, microfiber sponges and stuff the other day. I don't know where they're at. Here. Won't let you send long messages? Well, I don't tell you. Hang on, I gotta look in the dryer. I need to find, and we have like 27 or 28 step stools, but I don't ever seem to be able to find them. That's because they're micro. That's funny, great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take you over this way. I gotta take off Galactic Gaming's watch. I don't want to get it wet with fish smell. And yes, this is your dream come true. I know there's so many of you that have wanted to see me remove the shirt. Am I teasing you? Ready? Woo! My dog Lily says, ready? That's me. You want me to feed you first? I tell you what, I'm going to feed Lily first. You guys come this way. David's in the house being stylish. I am, but now I'm naked. This is how I'm advertising to sell topless photos of myself. Come on. This thing's not as trekking. I'm still getting used to how to use these new cameras. But I'm going to give Lily some food, then we're going to go over the other part of the house and work. Oh, we got some rice this time, Lily. So, if you haven't seen the other videos, what I do for my doggies, or dog, is we cook them a lot of turkey. So I have a freezer full of turkeys, right? But we also throw in some really good Blues Stew dog food for extra nutrition. I feed her 1 cup a day And I know, yes, I do microwave it. Microwave it for 25 seconds. And this is what they call a slow feeder bowl. So you kind of just spread it around in this, and it slows your dogs down. So they can't just woof it. Let's see. Miss Nara's in the house. David is in the house. Thank you all for being here. I'll get caught up here. So I am gonna work on the fish tank. Everybody said hello to Miss Nara for being here. David, good to see you. Like I said, I'll be right back. I got to go outdoors and find the outhouse. Throw the dollar bills. What did David say about peanut butter? I like peanut butter. I gotta admit, man, I almost killed myself. That's 2 times a day I almost died. Let's see if we can get the motion thing activated again. There we go. Poor Craig is gonna look at me and go, what in the hell is that guy doing to that fish tank? So we're starting to get algae built up. And yeah, we use an algicide, but it doesn't seem to work very well. Maybe I'll bring you a little closer. Third time lucky. Alright. So I bought these micro fiber sponges that have kind of like it's not steel wool, but it'd be the equivalent to steel wool on them. And I really like them. Now, I bought a whole pack of 9 of them, and I can only find 4, and these are not disposable. They're washable. That's what these are, see? Is that fish dead? I think we got a fish that's dying. It's a really old fish. I think he's on his last legs, Craig. So I use the coarse side. And I just try to scrub some of the algae off. And I know they got the one that has the handle that you can use, to scrape. But it just doesn't seem to work as well. I just try to gently rotate inside the tank glass. Okay. Yeah, we got a dead fish. And he's not dead yet, but he's trying to be dead. Now look, if I fall down and bust my ass, don't laugh at me. Yeah, Craig says algae means an imbalance. It is. It's not a balanced tank. Craig, it's my wife's fish tank, and I'm not allowed to do anything. Except for clean it like this, or do any heavy lifting. So, I try to explain that, and I think she knows it. But all I do is I clean the inside like this when she tells me to, and then I keep the front area clean as much as I can. So yes. And all she has in here right now is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goldfish. And they're really old. Most of these goldfish are pushing 2 to 3 years old. Now, Craig, I am allowed to, no, wrong stuff. I don't know where she put it. I am allowed to use this on her tank. All right, Lily, that's enough. Nobody cares what you think. It is 5:30 here, 5:24. Yeah. These are, the youngest is about 2.5. We do have one that's a good 3.5 years old. So they can live a long time. And in America, we're having an epidemic. And a lot of the lakes, goldfish. Where people have released goldfish into the wild. Let's see if we can take a break. So yeah, we do have a few that seem to last a long time. They've gotten out into the wild here and caused a lot of, I don't know if they're causing havoc, but yeah, Craig, I don't disagree. You know, so I do like a natural balancing. When I've had fish tanks myself, you know, I did pretty good at not using chemicals, you know, just biologicals. But I just do what the wife says. Miss Nara says it is 2:25 a.m. in Kenya. Well, that's early. Wow. But yeah, even when I had a swimming pool at our house, see that fish there's gonna die. See it? That one's dying. When I had a swimming pool at my house, I hated the chemical system because you're always kind of chasing yourself, right? And spending money, spending money, spending money. So I switched it over to a saltwater pool with a salt chlorine generator. Worked beautifully. Craig says it's 10:25. Man, I don't know why I can't see today. 10:25 a.m. here. So I'm not a big chemical fan myself because I do think you just chase your tail unless you're really good at it, and I did a lot of chemical work with hazmat and stuff over the years, and so I know what it's like, to try to get your pH right, and then you go over too far, you got to bring it back. Whoop, now you're at a base. Now you're alkaline. Now your phosphates are up. This or up. You can chase your tail all day long. It's crazy, but thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way. Oh, here's a favor I got to ask. If you get the chance, go to our YouTube channel, click on the playlist called Shorts, and just run those. One of my goals is this year, one is to get over 5,000 subscribers, real subscribers, and two, to make over 1 million views. And I'm well on my way to 1 million views. But if you guys will go watch all of my shorts, just hit the playlist. Well, they're short, right? And so if you play those, I get a whole bunch of views in a very short amount of time. Ms. Nara says, thank you, Craig. So, Ms. Nara, how are things in Nigeria? Or sorry, Kenya. We have some other friends that live out in Nigeria. How's Kenya today? Nothing too exciting going on in America today, really. I haven't kept up with too much politics today or anything. Nothing exciting, nothing not exciting, just normal. As far as I know, it's Tuesday, early in the week, We got beautiful weather for February. This is usually unusual. It was 75. It's down in the 60s now, 68 degrees. So, I got a big day tomorrow. I got to go to the hospital, have my pacemaker checked out. Then I got to come home and I got to get the truck. I got my truck loaded with cardboard boxes, all ready to go to the recycling centers. I got to get that done tomorrow. And then, I think that's it. Lorelai goes to work early tomorrow. She has a meeting. So I cooked ribs today. I made Lorelai a bunch of ribs. And my pork rib stew that I made over the weekend turned out really well. So I had a bunch of ribs versus a roast, and I made a beef stew, but I used pork ribs. Turned out really well. The World Health, man, the 30 new vaccines for upcoming epidemics. No, I haven't heard anything about that, but, no, Craig, I haven't heard anything about that. But I thought we were going to get away from the World Health Organization. I think the Trump administration doesn't want to be aligned with them. I think they believe, especially since we have the Kennedy boy in there, that vaccines can be helpful, but they can be worse. It's like we're talking about with chemicals in fish tanks. Vaccines can make things worse. Nothing new in Kenya, but we have beautiful weather. Outstanding. That's nice. Yeah, nothing new here. My part of the country is really boring during the winter. I got about 5 months out of the year where I really don't do anything, and I hate it. Psychologically for me, it really sucks living here. But it costs money to move. So you know how hard that is. So to move to Alabama or Florida where it's nicer year round and have the opportunity to be outdoors more and fish more, but I don't know. I'll figure it out one way or the other. But during the winter months here, I don't do much. If I go out in the cold air, my lungs freeze. So, which is weird. I know most people that have heart failure, lung failure, they don't like the hot weather. I'm the opposite. I like the heat And I don't even mind humidity to a point. But cold weather does me in. Last ditch effort to maintain their relevance. Yes, I think. Trying to hold, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think I think that's what it was. It wasn't the fact that we were like leaving NATO or the World Health Organization. We just weren't going to fund them anymore. And I don't think we should either. I really don't. I don't think we should fund. I don't know. And part of the problem is you can't trust anybody. You just can't trust anybody that runs any organization, agency, and or charity. So I would say we should put our resources towards, poverty, education, food. So if you do that, that agency will just steal the money. So we've gotten to a point where, come on, good girl, want to sit? We've gotten to the point where you can't do any good work. My dog Lily. She's my dog Lily. We can't get any good work done in America. We just can't. We can't get any good work done in the world because somebody's going to steal it. So somebody's going to misappropriate it. You guys like Lily? Oh, my Lily. Thank you, Francesca. Yes, she's a good dog. I know. This is her bad foot. I know you can't see it, but that's her bad foot. So we've gotten to the point in the world where, and I think it's always been this way, don't get me wrong. This is nothing new. Everybody's been pilfering off of the poor people forever. Even back in medieval times. I mean, it all started, it's always been that way. Anybody who does good, you got to question, are they really doing good or what are they getting out of it? And, money corrupts people. So they may have a good desire, but, right? You have a good desire to be a dog, but you're not. Huh, I know. So, corruption will find it. And even for the best of best people, the money, if you're being successful, the money becomes so overwhelmingly tempting to take advantage of. When you look down and go, man, like the lady who did Black Lives Matter, I guess she's going to go to jail. You look down and go, look at the good I'm doing, and you see all of this money coming in, and you start resenting who you're helping because they're not doing anything to help themselves anymore. They're expecting you to do it. Huh, is that right? Is that how it works? You start going, human nature just says, well, I need my cut. What about me? I should get a new house. I should get a new car. I should be able to eat out in fancy dinners, whatever it may be. And you see that all over the place. From small scale to large scale. I remember back, I look like a slob today. I remember back 10 or 12 years ago over in Oklahoma, there was a police officer who ran this fund to help troubled youth, right? Collected a lot of money, did a lot of help. He got all kinds of rewards, awards. He got recognized as some great community leader. Well, guess what? Come to find out, after about 5 years of doing it, he started pocketing money by large amounts. When he got exposed, he committed suicide. Versus going to jail, as a community leader, a police officer. So even small things get corrupted. Third, Dire Strands, Rosetta Style still controls all. Yeah, I think it's funny because a lot of people talk about, I had some dreams about religion last night. And I think most people know how I feel about religion. Or maybe they don't. I don't know, and I don't care. But I sit there and think, man, because in my dream I was having a conversation with somebody about how many popes have been corrupted. Like I don't know, man. It just, nobody is safe. Money rules the world. Power rules the world. And I try to explain to people, look, if you have power, you have money. If you have money, you have power. That's the way it is. Plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The more money you get, the more power you get, the more entitled you believe that you are. I like watching TV shows about entitled people. I think it's kind of fun. And, well, my dad does this. I do that. I'm a state senator. I'm a representative. I'm this, I'm that. You can't give me a ticket. I can reduce your funding, whatever, It just drives me crazy. It really does. And I was in my dream last night, because I had weird dreams last night. And I told this person that was asking me about religion, I'm very much afraid of the cold weather, and I've been wondering if I can surf in the cold. Yeah, Miss Dora, you can. Here's the funny thing I've learned about people. When you come from a warm weather country, you actually like the cold weather. You kind of think the cold weather's cool, it's fun. You get to buy new jackets, new pants, new clothing. You get to dress up differently. When you get to see your first snow, when you get to make your snowman, it's cool. It's cool. It's the people like I and others who have been stuck in the cold weather all their lives, that have experienced winter after winter, winter after winter. I'm almost 21 years old now, so I've gone through a lot of winters, right? Now, a lot of mine are not bad winters compared to like people that live where John lives up in the Dakotas. But still, it's winter. But for you newbies, it's not a big deal. It's more exciting. So you'll be just fine. Control DNA is the true power. Yes, I agree with that. Two changes. Let me read that. I agree, yeah. If you can control DNA, you have all the power in the world. Too much of money isn't good if you don't know how to control it. And too little is also bad, but above all, you know how to use it. I agree. I do think you have to learn to appreciate where money comes from. I openly tell people this about Filipinas, and Craig could probably relate to this somewhat. When a Filipina or somebody from another third world country, when they wind up going to a first world country and maybe they marry a man who's financially okay, to them it's like winning the lottery, and they don't know how to manage those winnings. And they can go a little bonkers. It's just the way it is. It's human nature. Not understanding the full concept of things, the full gravity, the full weight. I think it is a problem. It doesn't have to be, but it is. I also think when people don't have to work for their money, they have no appreciation of money. Money is created from thin air. Anymore, right? Seems like it. It's created with thin air, right, Craig? But it's attained by hard work, dedication, corruption, all of the above to attain it. It may be created in thin air, but to attain it is not easy. I mean, that's one thing I don't know if my wife understands, and most young women from different countries understand is we work hard to hold on to money. We know that tomorrow there may not be any money. I know this. I know tomorrow may not be any money. And if I don't have money in America, I'm homeless, I'm out of here. My life crumbles if I don't have money in America. I told somebody the other day, because we were talking about this in comparison, because he was talking about his fiance. And I was telling him, I said, you have to understand in comparison, everybody, the majority of people are broke in the Philippines. So if you go broke in the Philippines, you're broke. Everybody's broke. In America, when you go broke in America, it is a hard, brutal fall to the bottom. Brutal. Because you spent years not being that way. And then to lose it all, it's tough for people. But if you've never had anything and you lose everything, well, then you didn't lose anything. But if you've had everything and you lose it, then you've lost everything. The controlled monopoly of the 2%. Yes, the 2%ers. I wish I could wear a patch that said 2%ers on it, Craig. Wouldn't that be nice? And we could wear one of those patches like a motorcycle gang that says a 2%er. So you don't fall as far in a third world country as you do in a first world country. You just don't. And it's 10,000 times harder, I believe, to regain your feet in a first world country than it is a third world country. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. When you live in a first world country, Miss Nara, you have to think about money every day. You have to think about who's getting your money and how you're getting money. The number one thing that we do every day is recognize that my money comes in and my money goes right out. I am nothing but a pass-through. That's it. Money comes in and money goes out. That's the reality of life. And so if you piss it away, you're not going to get it back. It is so easy not to get things back. But whatever. But that's just the way money is, right? And I'm sure it's that way in other parts of the world too. So, and I love the statement that people say, well, it takes money to make money. Well, yeah, it does. It takes money to make money. Hello? I also like the other side of that coin that says, oh, it's on sale. A lot of people buy things on sale thinking it's a good deal, but they don't realize, well, if they didn't buy it, they would save that. So let's say they got a new hat. They found a hat. Ooh, I like that hat. It's on sale. It's only $70 from $100. So they buy the hat and save $30. No, they didn't save $30. They just lost $70. And at least in America, they don't understand that. Yes, if you haven't worked hard to get it, then you never know how it is to use it. like when you are just giving it. I agree totally. And I think that's part of the problems we have when when people migrate to first world countries, because maybe and I and this is not an exact, but you're going to get a bump in your maybe a bump in your living. So you're going to be living better in America than you would in a third world country for the most part, right? So a lot of people go, oh my God, look, I live better here than I did there, but you also still have no money here. So is it better to have no money there or no money here? I tell people it's better to have no money in your own country than it is to come to America and have no money. Because if you're not a U.S. citizen, well, it's a challenge in America, one. But two, if you don't have your own money, I mean, why would you want to put yourself, and I understand where a lot of people say, well, but America, you can make anything out of yourself. Absolutely. If you have the gumption, the willpower, and the desire, you can do very well in America. I know in other places that's not true. You're kept down no matter what. You're not given the opportunity. Correct, it's only because they think they are. Correct. So they think they've upgraded their living, right? The house is prettier. Maybe the streets aren't as dirty. It's a little cleaner environment. There's new things that you've never seen before. So you think you have an upgrade in your living, but you really don't. And I've seen a lot of people that have immigrated to America over the years, and they're worse off financially, not what they think because they live in a better house, but if you look at the numbers, they were better off staying back in their home country. Because you got to remember, I taught international students my entire life, and I had them working for me at the college as my assistants. So I tell people that want to come to America, even like, there's a couple of differences. It's kind of like, I've told people point blankly, I would rather be somebody of somewhat importance making decent money in the Philippines than I would to come to America and be a janitor at the bottom of the food chain. So why, and I've told people this over and over and again, why do you want to be, if you're a pharmacist in the Philippines, if you're a manager in the Philippines, if you're a teacher in the Philippines, why would you want to come to the United States and be the low-level employee? Why? You're not improving your situation overall. You're staying the same or less in America. And now your ranking in society has even dropped. So, you like that, Miss Nara? So, I tell people that all the time. A lot of times it's better to stay where you're at. Now, I understand there's a lot of places that you need to flee. I've talked to people from all over the world. And if you get the opportunity to get out of an oppressed country, I think you should do it, without question. So that's not there's a big difference between like maybe the Philippines where it's just poor, but there's still opportunity there, versus other countries that are oppressed and there are no opportunities because the leadership is not going to allow you to have opportunity. Different story. But I don't know why anybody would want to be a school teacher in the Philippines making $300-400 a month, which is decent wages, come to America, and the only job they can get is working at Walmart making a minimum wage, which puts them at the bottom of the food chain. I don't know why anybody would do that. I wouldn't do that. Unless it was for something unique. For me to go to a third world country, it would have to be due to the experience or something. I would have to get something out of it. But to think I'm going to go there and lessen myself, why would you do that? Why would you immigrate where you're going to be less than you are where you're at? Human beings should always strive to be better than what they are today. I always feel good when I use my sweat, even if it's 100-ish. Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. It's good when you do. I agree. I was telling my doctor, I'm kind of frustrated. I don't know what I'm at. But I told my doctor the other day that I'm not doing all these medical stuff anymore. I'm going to let nature take its course. I'm done. I'm tired. I don't see any reason to jump through hoops. So I'm just going to let nature take its course. But I agree, being active, having things to do keeps you alive. It makes you appreciate things. But for some of us, I was telling the doctor this yesterday, that there's times that my legs are so bad that it's truly a handicap, which I hate to admit. But it's truly a handicap not to be able to do those things that gives you a purpose in life. If you can't get around and enjoy, then you have no purpose. What are those fish in the background? It looks good. Viper's asking. They are just goldfish, and I do think we have one that's dying somewhere in there, Viper. They're just fancy-tailed goldfish. We only have a few in there. So my wife wants to buy some more fish, but at this point, because I want to move somewhere else, I would be happy if she didn't buy any more fish. And we just closed the fish tank up, packed it up really well to move to our new home whenever we get to go there. So at this point in time, but they're fancy-tailed goldfish, and I don't remember exactly what they're called, but they're the bug-eyed goldfish. There's one or two bug-eyed goldfish in there. The ones where the eyeballs look like they're popping out? So it's my wife's fish tank. If it was my fish tank, I would have a lot of plants in there. I like aquatic tanks where you put vegetation in it. I like those, and I've grown those before, and I like those. But they're just fancy goldfish. Even her algae eater died a while back. She had that for several years, 3-4 years. So we've been meaning to get another algae eater or Procossus, but we just haven't done it. So, but it's the wife's fish tank. She can do whatever she wants. So I do think it's important to have a reason to live, a reason to do things, a purpose in life. Quality of life is extremely important. And if you don't have that, you're in trouble. Miss Nara says, but here you can work and by the end of the month you are not paid. Ooh. And sometimes you end up without asking for wow, you're right. There are many, many things which makes people do that. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Really sucks, Miss Nara. At least here, under law, if you work one day, you get paid for that day no matter what. Jimmy's in the house. Getting something for doing nothing is the gateway drug. I like that. It is a gateway drug. It starts you down a road of dependency, eventually turning you into a self-righteous entitlement junkie. I would agree with you. I like that statement. I think that's a great way to put that. It really is. And now we have all these people bitching and complaining that their welfare is going to be cut off, that they got to get jobs, but they intentionally went and got pregnant and had all kinds of babies to collect more money. And now they're mad that that's not going to work. For example, here, gotcha. Hello from Jimmy, everybody. Hello, John. Good to see you. Hey there, Craig. Miss Nara says, hello to you, Jimmy. So yeah, at least in America, if you work a day by law, you're supposed to get paid for that day. Now here, we have to wait 2 weeks to get paid when you start a job. Tim is in the house. Good evening, Tim. Good to see you. How are you, Tim? So, and here we have remedies about suing people and small claims court and all kinds of, but we also have a government agency that will back you called the Labor Department. And I used to work a lot with the Labor Department. Jimmy, it's human nature. If I can get something for nothing, I will probably take it. I agree. Look, that's why I openly say on my channel that I'm here for $5 million. Get something for nothing. If somebody's going to give me that, I'll take it openly. I don't have a problem with it. So I agree. I agree. You get something for nothing, you take it. We all do it. I'm not any better than anybody else. That's why I point blankly say, look, yeah, if somebody wants to sponsor me and have me sell their remote controls, or whatever, pimp their remote controls, all right. Hello, Craig from Tim. It isn't their fault or the system. Maybe they are smart ones. Well, I think they are the smart ones, Craig. Look, they are the smart ones. The ones that don't have to work and they get free money, yeah, they are the smart ones. I've known professional students. I knew one lady that was 60 years old and she never had a job because she spent her entire life going to college. I mean it. From time she graduated until she was 60, and then she went on disability. She never had a job. She was a professional student. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, everybody. I'm 5 times less bad as you, David. I'll just take 1 million. All right, I got you. But there's a lot of people out here on the internet, the YouTube, that says like, oh no, I'm something special. I'm not. I'm just an average guy that if you give me something and if I want it, I'll take it. I have nothing to hide. If you want a topless photo of me for some money, we can talk. Yeah, she had fun living with her 10 cats. She did. And she never paid back her college money either. She never paid back her student loans. As long as she stayed enrolled for 2 classes a semester, she never paid her loans back. And she never had to work because she could live off of the government money. So she was a smart one. I'm just telling you. Just telling you. But now I'm not high and mighty. I'm not I've worked all my life for all the money I have. I really did. I've never been on unemployment. I've never, until my heart gave up. Did I ever go on temporary disability or anything like that? I worked up until my doctor said, you're going to die very, very, very soon now, maybe tomorrow, if you don't quit your damn job. I mean, they told me I had 2 years when they were telling me, you got to quit. And I'm like, well, let me just, So I worked for 2 years in heart failure, major heart failure. And so I liked working. But we all will take something for nothing. I mean, if somebody wants to give me a piece of pizza, I wouldn't mind it because I haven't had pizza in months. So, back in the 80s, a lot of these students became professional students. Yeah. Well, this chick was from the 80s because she was older than most. She's from the 70s. So, yeah, But we all, and to be honest, I guess we're all kind of stupid. If somebody's willing to give me $5 million, what Is there anybody on the internet that says I shouldn't take it? Would there anybody, if Mr. Beast was kind enough, or Elon Musk, who saw my channel and went, look, all he wants is $5 million so he can buy a house and be debt free. Well, we will give him the $5 million. Do you think anybody would think I'm stupid for taking it? Or $5? Be right back. Daughter has rocked up, woke up. All right. Jimmy says, Filipinos on the ship asked me if I am rich. I told them I'm not, but I've worked all my life, and they say that's all we want to be able to do. Work for money, big difference in mentality. It is. It is. A lot of Americans want something for nothing. I will agree with you, Jimmy. A lot of the Filipinos I know don't want something for nothing. They're willing to work for it. They are. I agree. Most people outside of America seem willing to work for it. They really do. Well, Tim, I do have to pay the taxes on the $5 million. That's why I need $5 million. Because what I really want is $2.5 million. I really don't want $5 million, but I know I really need $2.5 million to set me up for life. I've done the math. So I need $5 million so I can give the government their portion. It's just the way it is. I already know this, so I'm putting in the government buffer in there. So that's why it's so high. Otherwise, I'd be happy with $2.5 million. Or $25, whichever came first. But you got to pay taxes on it. So you need some, come on. And of course, if, the guy that owned the Mavericks gave me $5 million, he'd probably write it off as charity and get a tax break. I would probably have to pay 50% in taxes to the government. Taking for something for nothing isn't bad. We also have to work to get our own. No, I would agree. I agree with you. And I think what you're trying to say is, look, I think there's a difference between taking something for nothing versus taking everything for nothing and not willing to work for something. There's a lot of people in America who literally do not want to work for anything. They only want what is free to them. That's it. They don't want to put any effort into it. They wouldn't put any effort. They only want what's free, and they would never work for it themselves. Many expats do not understand this. Expat wants companionship to enjoy leisurely retirement life. Yes. But the Filipinos want to work for money. You have to put them on the payroll. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that's a good way to look at it. Is one thing I've known with couples over the years from the Philippines and stuff, and I've given a very similar advice. I've given a very similar advice to people saying, look, you'd be better off not one telling your wife necessarily or your fiance or your girlfriend in the Philippines how much money you really have. But just give her a monthly stipend and say, honey, I'm going to give you $500 a month, and you take care of the house and you do everything, blah, 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 whatever it is. $500 in the Philippines is good money. So you're right. You kind of put them on the payroll and you let them kind of run it. They want to work for that and they will treat you very, very well. Yeah. Tim says, I saw a report about the quarterback from the Seahawks. He owes more in taxes than he got from the Super Bowl bonus. Yeah. And and I didn't know this until about a year or two ago, was if you're a professional athlete like the NFL, You have to pay taxes. And why he owes more money is this, because the game was played in California, right? Meaning he has to pay state taxes in California for that game. If he would have played in Texas, the tax structure would have been different because he only pays taxes for what he did in Texas. And Texas doesn't have a state income tax, as you know. So it depends on what state you play the game in is how you're taxed. Exactly. Jimmy says, people have to live. I agree. And you went to a culture, taking care of the family. Yes. So it is what it is. I would agree with that. I think you do got to understand, but I also think you got to put boundaries up. There's taking care of the family, and then there's being taken advantage of. And look, and as an expat or a future expat going to the Philippines, if you're not smart enough to ask all of these questions and to suss this out beforehand, then it's your own fault. But when I was dating Lorelai many thousands of years ago, I asked, what family do you have? How close are you? What's expected? I asked these questions, because I was not willing to take on somebody who I had to pay for everybody in their family and their extended family. Wasn't going to do it. It's not my mentality to open up my wallet that I worked hard for and just to let everybody associated with the girl have at it. Not my mentality. But if you don't figure this out beforehand, then it's your own fault. But you also got to set limits, because one thing I tell, there's a big difference between the mentality of like myself and maybe a lot of first world people and third world people. We worry about tomorrow. Every day, I worry if I'm going to have money tomorrow. People in the Philippines worry if they have money today, not tomorrow. So there's a huge difference. We have to plan ahead so that we have money tomorrow, the next day, the day after, the day after. A lot of the people in the Philippines don't give a shit about that. They want it today, and that's it. Oh, yes, David, boundaries. If your Filipino is making 10,000 pesos a month, that's pretty good money. Okay, it's, not great, but okay. And she's supporting her whole family. Just pay her the 10,000 pesos. She was surviving. I would agree. And I would even bump it up to maybe 12,000. Give her a little bonus. If she's treating you well, making you happy, rocking your world, then, maybe bump it up to 15. Give a big bonus. Let her enjoy the fruits of her labor of taking care of you. So, but I totally agree. I totally agree. But a lot of Filipinos don't understand about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to come. If you're living in America or anywhere, tomorrow's going to come knocking. And when tomorrow comes knocking, it can come knocking hard. I tell people all the time, one bad day in America, you can lose everything. You can go from here to the streets in a day, just the way it is. In the Philippines, you're already on the streets for the most part. You're already living an impoverished lifestyle. So you're really not going down the financial ladder very far when you screw up. It's easier to rebound. In the United States, not. But I agree with you, Jimmy. If she can do all of this on 10,000 pesos, why, what's the difference? Now you add yourself to the mix. You give her the 10 plus a little to cover you. Life should be grand. And then once in a while, you kind of do nice things or this or that. But look, I've learned the hard way, being married to a Filipino. We have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on family in the Philippines, only for them to be pissed off that we don't give them more money. So we don't do it. I don't do it. You know, we have a situation where Lorelai's sister did not get her contract renewed, and she's going back to the Philippines in a couple of months. She had a teaching contract in Chicago. Well, she screwed the pooch, and now she's not being renewed. She's going back home. And for the last 3 years, they've been spending like drunken sailors, right? Living high on the hog, having an attitude, you know, treating Lorelai like shit because they think they're above her now. Well, they're going back to that, bought a big expensive car, you know, that they can't pay for now. So now they're starting to talk to Lorelai. Oh, hi, sissy. Because they know in a few months, 6 months, 7 months, they're going to be up shit creek. And they're hoping money will flow back from America. But it's not going to happen. It's just not. There is no money flowing back after they treated her. I don't reward bad behavior. I say this a lot. I don't reward bad behavior. If all of these years, if they would have treated my wife really well and been what, you know, had a positive relationship, all right, sure. You know, we understand how life is, but we don't do that. So we're getting ready to face that situation this summer. So this summer and fall will, you know, by the late fall, they should run out of money and be desperate. But, you know, they're going to have to get jobs in the Philippines and figure out how to make it again. So they will I tell my wife, they will figure it out. It's not our business. And it's not. There's no money going to them. There's just not. So, because one thing we do is we try to treat people the same no matter what walks of life you come from. I don't care what color you are, what job you have, what sex you are. I will treat you all the same. You know, I don't give a crap if you're the president of the United States. To me, you're just a person. I don't care if you're a bum on the street. You're still just a person. It doesn't matter. And I've done that all my career, meeting local politicians, state and local politicians, to corporate 500 CEOs, you know, big time people. I don't give a shit who you are, how much money you make. I'm going to treat you the way I treat you. It is the way it is. So, and I think that's how we should do it, and that's how we should be. But a lot of people don't do that, and they don't believe that. But I don't, if you treat me badly, I'm not going to reward you. I don't need to be your friend. I don't need you in my life. See what I mean? That's how I look at it is if you're not willing to be this way when you have no money or I have no money, then you're really not a friend, right? Caprillo's back in the house saying, what's up, man? You're up. You're up right now. Not a lot. Same old, hanging out for a little bit. Enjoying the cool weather coming in. It's down to 60 now. So, how are you today? But if you can't treat me decently in good times and in bad times, then I don't need you around me. That's how I look at it. Just got off of work? Nice. You just get off work or what? So, I think everybody ought to do what's in their own hearts. But I also think you got to put boundaries up and say, you know, and I do know that there's a big back problem solved. Woohoo! That's because you're the Australian problem solver. Yeah, what do you think about selling insurance? I wouldn't do it. I don't. One, I think insurance is a scam. I think we need it because of the system that has been set up to make us dependent on it. But I still think it's a scam. Would I personally sell it? No, I don't sell anything. The only thing I sell is topless photos of myself. That's it. I'm not a salesperson. I'm just not. If you don't want something, then you don't want something. If you want something, you want something. And there's plenty of other people out there that know about insurance, so I don't need to do it. Plus, I think sales is very, very risky. Yep, if they've lived before they had a foreigner and the equation, why can't they do it again? I agree, Tim, that's my big thing. You know, if you lived that way before without me, you can live that way now. I agree, Tim, 1,000%. I would set a savings account for her that she's forbidden to use monthly deposits in for the future when it's gone. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good way to do it. And that's one thing I've been doing all my life, my married life with Lorelai, is Lorelai doesn't know. One, we've traveled a lot. We've spent a lot of money having a good time in life, which is fine. But I've invested a lot of money for her long after I'm dead. But, you know, it's still a lot of money out the door just living. So Cabello says, I think I'm thinking about getting my insurance license. So you probably have to have a bachelor's degree. So to become a licensed insurance, I think that's what it is in my state of Arkansas. I think if you're into that, that's fine. I think I'm just not a big salesperson about anything. I wouldn't want to bank my financial future on my ability to talk people out of money. You know what I mean? That's just me. But if you're good at sales, as long as the other thing is for me, I would have to be I'm too honest of a salesperson. If you mention to me, hey, I'm really interested in insurance, well, I'd ask you 5 million questions, and then I would just give you what you needed, not what I could make more money off of. Exactly, Tim, she wasn't surviving. That's right. And she'll do it without you, you know, or they won't. Way more expensive if you're now there 20 years, yes. I know people making 10 to 15K from home. Oh, one of those. Yeah, I had that brought up a while back. Capello, I had that pitch sold to me a couple months ago. We had a bunch of people reach out to Lorelai and I about doing that. I dug into it and I found it more of a pyramid scam than anything. So I laughed at them when they couldn't, I had a bunch of questions written down and they couldn't give me the answer to the questions. So I told them, no, thank you. But this was probably a year and a half ago. If maybe you're getting that same sales pitch. Nope, it's 40-hour course. Wow, I think in Arkansas you got to be a bachelor's degree and pass the test. Really, David? 5 million? Yes, Jimmy. Yes, 5 million. What's wrong with $5 million? I wouldn't have to e-beg for money anymore, Jimmy. You know? But every aspect of society nowadays needs insurance. That's part of the scam that in America we're forced into. It just is. Everything's so expensive that we can't afford to do anything without insurance. And that's shameful. And now it's the law that you have to have insurance, auto insurance, right? And in Louisiana, you guys are sue happy crazy in Louisiana. You know, you guys sue for everything in Louisiana. Well, same here, Tim. I wouldn't want to be dependent on my commission sales. And you know your base salary is not going to be very high. Well, Craig is right. Craig, you're absolutely right. It is extremely difficult for me to take anything a 30-year-old is trying to tell me about life, about insurance, about medical, about needs. It is. I can't do it. I agree, Craig. I've been there, done that. I don't do it, Craig. You don't, you know, I take what you say with a grain of salt because I have more experience than you. Jimmy says, I once threatened my ex, if you don't shut up, I will cancel the life insurance when I die. There would really be An effing trash. That's a good threat. I don't have life insurance. I can't get life insurance, but that would be funny, right? You know. I will say this is what my wife isn't concerned. Here's what drives me crazy, and she's probably listening. But my wife isn't concerned about what money I'm going to leave her. But she's also not concerned about the money tomorrow, which drives me apshit crazy because I am concerned about the money tomorrow. So she has no concern about the money tomorrow. So it just drives me crazy. But yeah, that's a good thing. I'll just cut off the insurance. There you go. So, Caprillo, if you want to sell insurance, now look, if it's one of those things where they come in, yeah, I got that too, man, about a year and a half ago. Laura, I got that sales pitch too. You know, and there's even a like one level where you didn't really have to do any training, but like a little course, and you could like represent, but you would be under like a broker who would then give you a cut of the commission and this and that. So it looked more like a big old pyramid scheme. Well, bartending, I understand. My brother was a professional bartender and he died of alcoholism and a restaurant manager. I've told people this. I really, and I've told a lot of college students this. I believe the way to be successful in life is to get a job that gives you a regular paycheck, right? They give you a regular paycheck. You invest as much into your savings, your 401k, your investments as possible. And you work hard at it. You do everything you can. There are no get-rich schemes out there for the most part. Bartending's not a bad job, but I get that it can be, you know. The only insurance I would want is bureau coverage. Yeah. But it'll cost me $250 in 2 weeks, and I have my license. All right. But how much is okay? It's kind of like real estate license. I've looked at becoming a real estate agent. My wife has too, because I got a lot of friends of real estate agents. You know, you have a lot of startup costs to become an agent. Well, you got to do your own advertising, and same thing with your insurance. What about your own marketing, your own beating the feet, getting out there, clothing, representative materials, propaganda material that you're going to be handing out? A lot of times you got to pay for all of that up front. So you got to, when you start an independent, now if you go work for an agency that's already up and running and they hire you, maybe a different story. But if you're trying to go out on your own, you got all these upfront costs that you have to cover. If she works, let her control and do what she wants with her money. That's what I do. Good thing here is her super ammunition, so massive pay out of when she retires, cannot access. Yeah, Craig, I'm with you. We kind of do that with Lorelai. We've kind of switched that. Lorelai has a card. She has money. She's now experiencing, her and I, in our belief system has changed because she's being influenced by Americanized Filipinos. I actually believe, because I come from this type of background, that a husband and wife should work together financially. And we should be on the same page and plan for the future together, work together. But I know a lot of people don't do it that way. So right now, Lorelai's learning. She has to pay her own bills. She is. We just started this. She's paying her own bills. When she buys her LV purse, she's going to have to pay that money. You know, when she buys clothes, she has to pay that money and figure it out. Before, I let her buy whatever she wants, and I just paid the bill. So we'll see how it goes. Plan a budget using the 50-30-20 method. What is that, Tim? Tell everybody what that is. That's it. Eventually learn how it works in the new country. Yeah, they do. They become Americanized. And, you know, whatever. But I've also told her, if you screw the pooch on it, you screw the pooch on it. Period. You know, okay. You think I've done such a horrible job, You don't think, now that you've talked to your friends and they all do whatever, now that I've done such of a horrible job managing our money all these years, even though we've traveled the world, we're debt free except for a house, we have nice vehicles. Okay, I get it. I've done a shitty job now. Yes, you can go do your own. Yeah, I get it. All right. So, okay, good luck. But you're on your own. If you screw the pooch, then you need to be held responsible. You can't go to the other partner and say, gee, I screwed up. Can you give me the money to get out of screwed upness? No. But it's all right. It is what it is, Maybe I'm too controlling because I see the future. I'm not worried about today. I'm worried about the future. So Tim is recommending the 50, 30, 20. I don't know what the 50, 20, and 30 method is. I believe you should save, get out of debt. And what a lot of people don't understand is if you have no debt, you're very financially powerful if you have no debt. 50% fixed expenses, okay, I got you. 30% for saving and 20% for wants. Nice, okay. All right, I don't disagree with that. I think that's good. I think one thing that people have to understand about money is one thing that we need to teach everybody. You need to be able to assess what a need is versus what a want is. There's a lot of things I want. I mean, a lot of things. But I know there's a damn good chance I'm going to need something in the future. So I better pigeonhole money so that I can get that thing that I need in the future versus having a new hat because that's what I want. David says the family is feeling better today. Good. I'm glad everybody's feeling better. That's good. How's the weather? Is the weather clearing up in the Philippines? That's one thing we have to do. We just have to understand what wants are and what needs are. You need a roof over your head. And when you don't have a roof over your head, you're going to really miss it. I would agree. There's a guy that I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. His name was J.B. Hunt of Trucking Company in America, the largest trucking company around. One of his best friends I know personally, his name's J.T. Rose. He owned a large chain of nursing homes. And him and I were talking a while back. And he was just telling stories about him and his, back when him and Bill Clinton and J.B. Hunt and all these people from Arkansas were in power and they were running the world, right? And he was telling me that J.B. Hunt always had a theory about how to be rich. Always spend $1 at least, $1 less than you make every day. Have less expenses than you make every day, not every year, but to break it down into a daily analysis. Spend less than you make. That's how you become rich. Weather's good, David says. Galactic says, that's a cool fish tank. Looks so clean. It is clean. I just cleaned it. Where were you, man? I cleaned it on the live stream. I did all the hard work. We got a fish that's dying, though. You see that fish up there? I think that fish is dying. I'll probably throw it out tomorrow. I like that, Tim. I will remember this. Yes, I thought it was 50 vodka, 30 sweet and sour, and 20% pineapple. Oh my gosh. That's funny, Jimmy. 50, 30, 20. Drinking with Jimmy. That's it. Yeah. Jimmy's motto for drinking, right? Always 50% alcohol. I was putting stock away. Oh, yeah. It looks pretty Yeah, it's still alive, but it's, it's an hour or two away. It's still alive, but it's not gonna live that long. Yeah, it's moving, but it's belly upping. It may have gas in it. Maybe got some gas trapped, but it's starting to belly up itself. But it still wants to swim. So I tried to get it to fart earlier, but we'll have to see how it goes. It's about a 2.5 to 3 year old fish. Jimmy John, it doesn't work. I did a video on it on the internet, on YT, yes. Is there a three? Well, the others float around. So they're fancy tail goldfish. And they do kind of like to float because their fins are really long like feathers. And so they do a lot of that floating around. Jimmy says, what the hell? Live a little? Yeah, it's a little alive. A wise man told me that David is not how much you earn, it's how much you save. Treat yourself, treat your car as if it was worth $1 million. I agree with that. I've heard this. So that when you get that new car, when you get car new, you know how much to lock it out. Oh, how much to lock it up afterwards? That's funny, Craig. I like that. I like it. It's moving. It's a miracle. It's a miracle in the fish tank. I don't remember the guy's name, but there's one of these, rich people on the internet who's always doing like podcasts and things. And I don't remember who he is. I see him a lot, but I don't know really what he does. I really don't. I think he's a real estate mogul, but he's all over the place and he's always giving advice. And I saw a little snippet of him talking to somebody about, because he owns planes and he gets a new plane every 3 years, I guess is his whole strategy, new jet plane. But he said that I guess he knows Donald Trump, but back before he was president, he ran into, they run kind of in the same circle as real estate people. And he said one time he was having a conversation with Donald Trump about their planes, because he has a plane. And he asked Donald Trump, because every time he came to this airport, wherever it was, he always saw the Trump airline sitting out. It was never inside the hangar. And he thought it was weird because he always hangared his airplane, always. Always kept it in the airplane. So rain couldn't get on it and sun couldn't get on it, all these things protecting his investment. So he asked Donald Trump one day, he's like, why do you never hangar your plane? And he said that Donald Trump told him, if I hangar my plane, then nobody can see my plane. Meaning, I want people to know that I have a plane. I thought that was an interesting statement. If hello, I would try to find my video on it. Yeah, drop it, Tim. Miss Nara says, I am sorry, guys, but I have to go back to bed. Thanks. Appreciate you, Miss Nara. We do indeed. Get some rest. Got to go back to bed. She's a young lady. She needs her beauty rest. Goodbye, Miss Nara. Craig says to you. But I thought that was interesting. It's more valuable for Donald Trump or people like that to see his corporate jet, to see his big Trump plane, than it is for him to save it from needing to be painted every 10 years, I guess. But everybody has a different perspective on money. I'm going to do a video here soon about, I'm working on this. I need help with this. If anybody out there wants to help me with this, I want to come up with like maybe 10 signs or indicators that you know that your wife has become, or your Filipina, or your foreign spouse has become Americanized. And then I want to look at ways to prevent them from becoming Americanized. and do a video topic about that, or maybe even a roundtable live stream. Mick Gray's back in the house. Good evening from Essex, England. Yes, I remember you're from the England. How are you? How are you to this morning for you, this night for me? Galactic Gaming is also from the UK world. He is one of the lords of the UK, by the way, if you didn't know that. If you didn't know Galactic Gaming, he is a superstar in the UK world. But, you know. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Been busy all day, you know. Not really. Slacking off. You know, when you're old like me and you're disabled like me and you're fat like me and you're not living the dream, what do? You putz around the house. Putz, if you don't know, means tinker, wander, meander, find little shit to do to keep you busy. Crap like that. When she too gets sick of the family, that's a good one, Jimmy, and I got that written down. When the wife, the Filipina, gets sick of the family constantly turning to her for every problem they have. I would agree. And that one, I've talked to some, that's one of the first things people say. I totally agree. And that's a good one, Jimmy. Oh, is that Craig that says? Oh, sorry, that was Craig. Jimmy, I was giving you credit for that. Sorry, that's Craig said that. Jimmy, don't you be taking credit for Craig's statement. That's right. The White House is designed to be humbled, yeah. Now look, Jimmy, I'm going to tell you, I think our White House should be extremely impressive to foreign dignitaries. When they come to America, they need to be going, oh shit, wow, I am somewhere special. So I agree with Trump's logic in that. Craig, once again, Jimmy apologizes for stealing your comment. Jamie's back in the house. That's a good one. Yes, Miss Avocado in the house. Remember, we're doing her baby shower April the 3rd. You guys are all welcome. I need you here. We're also doing Lorelei's party on March the 7th in the afternoon, Saturday. Her birthday. Hello, Jamie. Yeah, Craig. Sorry. That's all right, Jimmy. Craig forgives you. I'm going to take the liberty in saying Craig forgives you. But, look, because, you know, I'll go back a few months. When Trump went to England, you guys saw what England did when Trump arrived there. That was amazing. All the pageantry that England did to welcome the President of the United States, right? When a foreign dignitary comes here, it should be the same way. We should, one, build them up, but they also need to sit there and go, holy butt sniffing crack. Wow. On a side note of that, thinking of world leaders, I did see where Donald Trump has invited the Philippine president to become a member of the Board of Peace. Have you guys seen that? So Donald Trump has sent an invitation to the Philippine government to become part of his new world power. So that's good. I told Lorelei, I said that is really, really good for the Philippine government. When he came to America, he represented himself very well and the Philippine people. So that's really good. But now he's getting a boost by being honored to join this group that I have not been invited to join. So, but we'll see how it goes. That's right. I have to negotiate from a superior. That's correct. You have to negotiate from a superior position. And how do you do that? If you're buying a car, you know the way you negotiate from a superior position, can't even talk. You walk away. You're willing to pack your bag and go to another dealership, right? You don't listen to the bullshit. You know, you're willing to pack up and go. So you negotiate by willing to being able to walk away from the table. That gives you the superior position. Last week of the month too, yes, all right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, got to get the quota in for the month. They didn't invite you, the bastards. I agree, Jimmy, they should have. And I'm really upset because YouTube keeps making changes and they don't call me either. I don't know what's going on with that. Tim has just dropped the link about his budgeting from his YouTube channel. You guys can go check that out. I tell people all the time, if you want to know the correct answer, just ask me. If the world would do everything I suggest, it would be a wonderful world, at least for me. At least I would be happy. It's kind of like, I told my wife asked something jokingly the other day, well, am I a good wife? And I'm like, well, do you do everything I ask? Do you do everything I say? The perfect wife, I think that's the right video. Nice. Watching it, Tim Craig says, thank you for doing that. Remember, if you guys would watch my my playlist called Shorts, that would help me get to 1 million views. You don't got to watch all the other 10,000 videos I have, but if you watch the shorts, that'd be nice. So that's good. You guys got to help each other out. We got to get to 5,000 subscribers this year, but I'm really trying to get to 1 million views. I'm close. So I can do it. I got a feeling. If I start dancing around naked all the time, I'd probably get a lot more views, but my legs are bad, so I can't dance. There you go. But I don't know, man. Yeah, if you have to buy something, no matter what it is, then you've lost any negotiation power. If I break my leg and I gotta go have it set, I have no power. But if I want, I don't know, a massage on my leg, well, I got power because I don't have to do that. Bad analogy. That was a stupid one. But you get my point, right? It's kind of like, I love cars. I would, if I won the lottery, man, I don't know how we would drive all of these cars, but I love cars. I would have a stable full of cars. I don't know what we'd do with them, but look at them and just say I own them. But because you can only drive one car at a time, maybe one every day, I don't know what I would do. So Tim says, sorry it took so long to find. It's all right, Tim. We understand. It was 4 years ago. Kudos on finding it. Yeah, I agree. That's one thing I've learned on my channel. I haven't done a great job in the beginning labeling videos. I try to do better now so that I can search for them faster if I need them. But I got to admit, back in the day, man, I was throwing crap up that doesn't, and I need to redo a lot of videos. If I could do it over, there's a lot of topics I need to go back and talk about again and redo in a modern version. But the problem is we've all talked about the same topics 5 million times, How to bank in the Philippines, how to travel to the Philippines, how to find a woman, how not to find a woman. We've all talked about it 500 million times. And I get bored of rehashing the same hash. It gets old talking about the same old crap that we all already know. About how you got to say no budget, all of that stuff. How you got to watch it, it gets old. It gets old. So, what are we going to do? We'll just do what we can do. Gotta go do it to learn. Yes, you do. And that's kind of my, but it doesn't make us good content, Craig, to say, look, go do it and learn, because people don't want to go do it and learn. So they want to watch all the content, but there's 500 million people like us telling you how to do it. And we all agree on the basics. We're just trying to get you to believe what I believe over what somebody else believes and subscribe to my channel and follow me versus following somebody else who has a different, perspective. Well, Tim, my problem is I don't like how I did the videos. Meaning, now I've learned about camera angles a little bit better, about lighting, about positioning, about things of that nature. I can shorten them, make them shorter, get to the point. In the early days, I did videos like I was teaching a class, like I was teaching class. A lot of times I did these videos that, weren't great. The lighting wasn't great. I look at them and go, man, that's really bad public speaking. That's really not an attractive video to watch. It's not a good video. It's not even a good talking head video. So I've learned over the years how to try to make this a better talking. And plus, you can just shorten it and refresh it. So that's what I mean by doing that. I know there are videos that I could just do that. Like the cruise ship videos, I could do. Because the cruise ship videos are kind of cool. There's a lot of pretty scenery. But a lot of the advice videos I did early on about relationships are just bad. The subject matter is okay, but my delivery was not good. My lighting was bad. All of that stuff. So I need to do that. But then again, I'm going to be doing the exact same topics over again that every other YouTuber has already done 500 times. So I kind of don't have any motivation to go, yay, I need to teach people how to get a girlfriend from the Philippines. Yay, I need to go tell you how to travel to the Philippines again. Yeah, I need to tell you about how to use a banking system in the Philippines again. Yay, me. I need to tell you about how to have health insurance in the Philippines and or why not to have health insurance in the Philippines. Just kind of like, holy shit, how many times can we beat these topics to death? That's it. Cut out the nonsense, get to the point. And that's what I mean. I've looked at some of those videos and go, man, I could cut this down to a 3 to 4 minute video versus a 15-minute video. I can refine this process down to be much better, much better. And they don't even get views anymore, but I just don't have the desire right now to put a whole bunch of lectures about the Philippines or topics about the Philippines out there. It's kind of like everybody else is doing it. That's why I do so many live streams. I do a new video about when something strikes my interest, like I did one the other day about OFWs, not the other day, a couple months ago, about things OFWs need to know. So overseas foreign workers working in America, what they need to know being here. Attention span of viewers have shortened. Oh, it has. That's why YouTube is pushing these live streams and short clips out. They don't care about 5 and 10-minute videos anymore at all, I don't think. I'm still trying to make them and put one out every week or so about something we bought or something we've done. But YouTube doesn't care about this. They don't. They don't care about this. They don't. So that's all we can do. Yeah, I don't know. And I think sometimes it'd be really nice to have constructive conversation, like a podcast or a round table with YouTubers or people that do YouTube that can have a constructive dialogue topic about the Philippines. A group of 3 to 5 people that could come together and talk about it without criticizing everybody else and telling everybody how stupid they are because you don't believe in my way. And a lot of the bigger channels, their whole thing is everybody else is stupid, I'm the right one. No, they're not all stupid. There's a lot of good advice from everybody. You got to weed through it. But I always thought it'd be really nice to have a round table with people that have been there, done that, that could just come together and just discuss and talk. Attention span, yes. See, Rumble is making inroads into YT now. Is it? Okay. Maybe YT will buy Rumble, or Rumble will buy YT. I don't know. I'm not on Rumble. And since I don't really have anything to offer on Instagram or TikTok, I mean, I don't want to show, I don't have any boobs to show. I'm not dancing. I'm not a girl. I just can't get excited about doing TikTok. I'm just like, well, so am I going to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again on 5 different platforms? So if all I'm doing is making shorts on YouTube, then I got to go to TikTok and make kind of the same material, then go over here and make the same material, I'm just repeating it. %7 increase in views and uploads since last month. Nice. Are you saying that because you've been using Rumble, that you've been having people come to your YouTube? Is that what you're saying? Or your Rumble has gone up 7%? Because I do know a lot of people, and the smart people will use the other platforms to drive business to whatever one is their primary, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or whatever. So I know a lot of people use the other platforms to drive business there. And I get that. And I understand that that's a good marketing strategy. If you're going to advertise in the newspaper, you might as well advertise on TV if you can, and the radio, so that you hit all 3 demographics, right? So it makes sense. But it's really hard, I think, to get traction on TikTok. I think it's hard. So it seems to be easier to get traction on YouTube than it does TikTok. At least that's what I think. I don't know. Rumble format. Don't use it yet. Just became aware of the increase. Got me thinking it may be an option. Well, I'll look into Rumble too. I've never used it either. Never have. I know that they got a bunch of play in America at the Super Bowl because the alternative halftime show against that Blue Bunny guy was also shown on Rumble. So I know Rumble got talked about a lot because the Kid Rock halftime show was not only on YouTube, but it was on Rumble and some other platforms. Because people here in America didn't want to see Blue Bunny guy, or Gay Bunny, or whatever his name is. I've never heard of Rumble. I've heard of it, but not much. I thought Rumble, the only thing I ever really remember hearing about Rumble was that you could be a little cruder, dirtier on Rumble than you can YouTube. So, that's the only thing I remember. Because I remember a couple years ago, that Vincent guy from Australia who I ran off my channel said that he was over on Rumble because he could be as big as dickhead as he wanted on Rumble. So, guys, I don't know if you guys remember him or not. That's the only thing I ever heard about Rumble up until this past weekend with the Super Bowl, when they were saying the Kid Rock halftime show was going to be on Rumble, YouTube, and some other platforms. I don't know. So it may be worth taking a look. I'm sure they're getting an upswing because, it was every time you saw the ad for the Kid Rock live stream or the Kid Rock halftime show, it mentioned Rumble. So, and it got, over 30 or 40 million views already. Or that night, it had millions, like 25 or 30 million views by midnight. Created in 2013, Tim, is a cloud server for the Real Truth. Okay. Is there any real truth, Craig? I don't think there's any real truth out there. And why there's no real truth is because we're humans. There is no real truth. My truth is not your truth. There is no truth. It's only speculation and drama. There you go, Craig. Tim says, back, you might be able to post your topless videos of yourself on it. Woohoo! Same thing with OnlyFans. OnlyFans is great if you got boobs, you know. Only on your own. Yes, your own truth, right? There is no truth but what lives in my head. So, yeah, you may be, Tim. You know, I mean, like I've said 1,000 times, if I was a girl, who knows what I would do? I mean, I openly try to make money on YouTube so I can pay for a house. I'm not shy about that, but I want to work for it. I'm willing to work for it. And I do that. I'm trying my best to turn this into something. But if I was a chick, and as a good looking chick, would I take advantage of what social media could put in my wallet? Oh, yeah. There's no question about that. Absolutely. 1,000%. If I was a good looking chick and I could make money off of the internet, you damn right I would be doing it. You know, so I don't regret them doing it. It doesn't bother me. But nowadays, Tim says people can't handle the truth. That's right. As in that movie, A Few Good, was it A Few Good Men? You can't handle the truth. Yeah, I know. But I don't blame people for, you know, selling themselves, because that's what we're doing. Even, and because look, the honest truth is, I'm on YouTube selling myself. Now, it may not be wanted, and it may not be much to sell, but that's what we do when we make videos. We're selling ourselves. This is us. I'm trying to get you guys to follow me, right? So I'm selling myself. So it's no different than a girl with big boobs and blonde hair, you know, wearing a bikini out there doing whatever she's doing. She's selling herself. I'm doing the same thing. I just don't have the things that God gave her to come to me. I just don't have them. Exactly what I was thinking, Tim says. So, you know, that's right. A few good men. I don't know. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 7 o'clock here. Tuesday night. It's starting to cool off. I got the windows open. I need to shut the windows. I think I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get the house wrapped up, do a couple little things, watch some TV tonight. And I appreciate you guys coming. Oh, I got to put my thing in my bathroom. But I appreciate you guys coming in tonight, watching me build a Japanese storage cabinet that a 5-year-old could build in 5 minutes, and it took me a half hour. So I appreciate that. And many people can't sell themselves. Yeah, that's me, Tim. I can't sell myself, I don't guess. Do I have anything you want? I mean, can I sell myself? I don't think I'm very good at doing this because, like I said, I don't even have 10,000 subscribers. So I'm not very good at selling myself. So, you know, Craig, we appreciate you. Tim, we appreciate you. Everybody else in the background, a whole lot of you guys, thank you all for the thumbs up. We appreciate everybody. Tim, enjoy your day, and we will see you guys later in the week. We'll be live later in the week. Take care.